The scariest moments in football that shocked fans. Football is a game filled with drama, skill, and raw emotion, but sometimes it takes a darker turn. From spine-chilling injuries to shocking incidents that leave fans gasping, the unpredictability of the sport can be unsettling. Today, we're diving into the scariest moments in football that left fans completely shaken. You won't believe what's coming next. Stay tuned. One moment, everything is perfect, and the next moment, chaos erupts. The unexpected might happen at any time in the beautiful game. Football has witnessed literally everything, from a player passing out in the middle of the field to a stadium shaking with fan uproar. Today, we'll reveal the most horrifying, gut-wrenching scenes that left viewers speechless. These incidents remind us that football isn't just a game, it is real life with real consequences, and sometimes things go horribly wrong in blinks of an eye. Imagine a player dribbling down the field, fans standing up, and the moment leading up to the game-winning goal. Then everything is different in an instant. All of a sudden, time seems to stop and a terrible thing happens. These are the times when the unimaginable occurs, and today, we relive them. Number 1. Mark Vivian Foe's sudden collapse, 2003. During the 2003 FIFA Confederations Cup, it was a hot summer afternoon. At first glance, the match between Cameroon and Colombia appeared to be routine, but then something unexpected occurred. One of the strongest players on the field, Mark Vivian Foe, fell apart unexpectedly. There was no warning, no contact, just a collapse that startled the world as a whole. There was a frightening hush in the stadium as medics hurried to his side. Foe lay still, and no matter how hard they tried, he never came around. One of football's stars was gone far too soon, leaving the world stunned. Millions of fans watched this international tournament, which was more than just a match. Nothing could have prepared anyone for the devastating news. Yet the camera zoomed in, attempting to make sense of what had happened. The entire football community was affected by Foe's passing. Not only Cameroon, he was a representation of strength, power, and determination. And all of it was gone in an instant. Supporters, teammates, and even opponents mourned the passing of a player who was adored on and off the field. Number 2. The Eriksen Incident, Euro 2021. June 12, 2021, when Denmark and Finland were playing in the European Championship, Christian Eriksen passed out on the field. Time paused. As fans sobbed, players surrounded their teammate with a wall of protection to keep him out of the spotlight. The image was heartbreaking. Eriksen lay motionless, his life at stake. Immediate intervention was crucial. Eriksen's teammates, trained in first aid, began CPR alongside team doctor Morten Boesen. Moments later, professional medical assistants arrived and continued resuscitation. After what seemed like an eternity, Eriksen regained his pulse and was taken to Rigshospitalet in Copenhagen. The diagnosis? Cardiac arrest. It was the European Championships, a prominent competition that attracts millions of fans. So this was no ordinary match. Football fans had come to watch the game, but instead they saw one of the most terrifying scenes in modern sports history. Eriksen's collapse went beyond sport to become a worldwide story. Athletes of all sports, football commentators, and even many who had never watched the game became emotionally concerned in Eriksen's recovery. His survival became a ray of hope. Even in a sport that is based on strength and endurance, football fans are constantly reminded of the fragility of life by the shadow of that day. Number 3. The Hillsborough Disaster, 1989. The date of April 15, 1989 will live on in football history forever. The FA Cup semi-final between Nottingham Forest and Liverpool, which was meant to be thrilling, ended up being one of the worst days in the history of the sport. There was a disastrous crush in the standing pens as thousands of spectators flooded into the stadium. That day, 96 Liverpool supporters perished in a tragedy that horrified the football world and prompted significant stadium safety revisions. More than merely a catastrophe, Hillsborough serves as a sobering reminder of how easy a lovely day may devolve into a nightmare. The Hillsborough disaster had an international impact in addition to being a local tragedy. Football fans all throughout the world have vivid memories of the turmoil that ensued, the pictures of supporters being crushed, and the desperate attempts of those attempting to flee. Football stadium design was permanently altered by this tragedy, as new safety rules and seating arrangements were put in place all around the world. Since justice for those who died was long overdue, many people still associate Hillsborough with grief and rage. The wounds from that day are still visible decades later, serving as a reminder that football, for all its benefits, may occasionally come at an unbearable cost. Number 4. Eduardo da Silva's leg break, 2008. February 23, 2008. This day will always be remembered by Arsenal supporters. One of the most horrifying injuries in Premier League history has just happened to Eduardo da Silva. Fans, players, and even seasoned commentators were left baffled when Eduardo's leg snapped following a brutal tackle by Martin Taylor of Birmingham City. His career was in danger due to the severity of the injury, and the memory of that one moment plagued football players and supporters for months. It serves as a sobering reminder of how easily dreams may be dashed, sometimes even on the field. The image of Eduardo writhing in pain, clutching his leg in agony, is one that no football fan will ever forget. For the players on the field, witnessing a teammate experience such a traumatic injury and unbearable pain left a lasting impact. Eduardo's recovery and eventual return to football was a testament to his resilience, but the memory of the leg break still lingers in the minds of those who saw it. Number 5. Neymar's spine injury, 2014 World Cup. During the 2014 World Cup, Neymar, Brazil's golden boy, was bearing the hopes of a whole country. But he sustained a back injury that resulted in a fractured vertebrae during a crucial quarterfinal matchup with Colombia. As Neymar was carried off the pitch, his World Cup dreams abruptly ending, the entire nation held its breath. In addition to ending his tournament, the injury had football fans concerned about his future. Brazil had lost their hero in the most terrible way possible, therefore it was more than just a loss. It had been anticipated that Neymar will get his chance to lead his team to victory at home during the 2014 World Cup, but everything changed in a flash. Fans all throughout the world let out a collective gasp when Neymar's future became suddenly uncertain. In addition to shattering the hearts of millions of Brazilians, his injury ended Brazil's World Cup campaign, resulting in their historic 7-1 loss to Germany in the semifinals. Both Neymar's career and the hearts of Brazilian supporters were forever changed by this incident, even though he returned to the game. Number 6. Antonio Puerta, 2007. Antonio Puerta, a talented player for Sevilla FC, tragically collapsed on August 28, 2007, as a result of a cardiorespiratory arrest during a match against Getafe, causing immediate concern among fans and players alike. After collapsing on the pitch in the 35th moment of the match, Puerta left the field on his own 2 feet. In the following hours after the event, Sevilla's eternal number 16 fell into a coma. The after effects of the stoppage ended with his death 3 days later in the Virgen de Rocío hospital at the age of 22. His sudden collapse was particularly shocking because Puerta had previously undergone medical examinations that cleared him for play. The incident sparked widespread discussions about player health and safety in sports, leading to increased awareness and changes in protocols for heart screenings in athletes. Fans who witnessed the event were left heartbroken, forever marked by the tragic loss of a promising talent who had captivated their hearts. The event served as a harsh warning that life might suddenly take a terrible turn. Number 7. Ewald Leonin's horrible injury, 1981. If there is one thing that Leon is remembered for, it is what happened on 14 August 1981 in a match in Bremen between the newly promoted Werder and Arminia Bielefeld. 20 minutes into the match, during an attack on Leonin's left flank, Werder Bremen's defender Norbert Siegmann made a hard tackle, studs first, on the Armenian forward. Leonin instantly grabbed his right leg and began to writhe on the turf, kicking and screaming. Leonin tried to get up, but after a few steps he fell again. It was then that he saw what was wrong with him and began to scream in fear with his hands on his head as he saw a huge 25-centimeter gash on his right thigh caused by Sigmund's studs, which left the player's muscle and flesh visible. Leonin received 23 stitches, but curiously, he was only out for 17 days. Although the incident did not go any further, it immediately became one of the most memorable scenes in the history of the Bundesliga and the most terrible injury, visually, in the history of football. Reliving these events serves as a reminder that, despite its beauty, football has a darker side that can strike at any time. Together, players, spectators, and officials create the magic of football, but that magic may quickly transform into terror. These events will never be forgotten because of the anxiety they caused in millions of people worldwide. Not because of the objectives or the awards. Even if football moves on, supporters will always carry these memories close to their hearts. Football is a game of highs and lows, of glory and heartbreak, but sometimes it's a scary moment to stay with us the longest, making us realize that the sport we all love is more than just a game. If you think these moments were shocking, you need to check out our next video. It's an emotional roller coaster you won't want to miss. Watch it now and keep the excitement going.